Good morning, everyone. One of the most important tests nowadays is the MCQ test. All of us are facing MCQ tests in most of our exams. Today, I would be sharing with you 13 basic and advanced tips that can help you in any MCQ exam that you sit for. So, we will start off. The first tip that is very important is that when you are faced with two completely opposite options, usually one of them is right. Please, once again, there is a disclaimer before going into this video that these are not some things which will apply to all the MCQs, but these are just general guidelines to help you with your MCQ test. So the number one thing is that whenever there are two opposite terms, two opposite options, then often one of them is often correct option. So now we will move on to the further tips in this regard. So second is that whenever there are two close options, it is very likely that one of them is correct. So whenever you have two opposite options, the examiner might be wanting to check your knowledge, and whenever you have two options, MCQ options that are very close, then one of them might be correct in that particular regard. Also, whenever you are attempting your MCQ exam, then it's very important that 5 minutes before the exam you are in a very active state of mind. So one of those things that you can do is that for any exam that you are sitting for, 5 minutes before exam you can try and solve a few questions in your mind. You do not need to be in a very active mind much before that time. You need to be relaxed. But the exam is just about to start, then 5 minutes before the start of the exam, try and solve a few exam related questions that you made up in your mind, so that your mind starts working on those questions, those particular questions. Also, it's important that once you are sitting for a long MCQ exam, for example, you are sitting for a 2 hours exam, that you take a small break in between. Maybe after 30 minutes, for a minute or half a minute, you can just relax, you can close your eyes, you can put yourself into a more relaxed state of mind, and then you can continue with the rest of the paper. This well-deserved break can rejuvenate you, and it can enable you to maintain your energy throughout the entire paper. Then it's important that whenever you are solving these questions, it's very important that a positive statement is often true. For example, if you are faced with questions where there is an option of never, always, so even if you are able to recall a single counter example to that statement, you can easily rule that statement out. So for example, if the option E says that never this thing happens, but if you are even able to recall one single instance where that particular thing happens, you will be able to rule it out. The number 5 tip is to always eliminate the wrong answers. So what that does is that whenever you are eliminating the wrong answers, you are increasing your probability of being right in that particular question. So for example, there's a question, it has 5 options. So if you have no idea of the correct answer, now you will have a 20% probability of being right. But if you are able to eliminate 2 or 3 of those options, then your chance or probability of if you are able to eliminate 3 options, then your probability of being right goes up to 50%. Number 6 is that try to answer yourself first. So what that means is that whenever you are faced with an MCQ question, after reading the stem of the question, you should always try to answer in your own mind yourself first the answer to that particular question. So for example, you read an entire statement. Before looking at the options, you should try to answer it in your own mind that what should be the answer. Then try to look for that answer in the options. Because if you will glance at the options, then you will start getting derailed from that entire process. And if you are able to come to an answer yourself and you are able to find that particular option in the answer section, then there is a very high likelihood that that particular option might be correct. So these are the first six very important tips. And finally, it's also important that your first choice is often correct choice, because once you have done all this homework and you have reached a first choice answer, the statistics and the research shows that that particular first choice is usually the correct option. But if you are sure that another option might be correct, then there is no harm in changing your particular answer. But statistics and research have shown that whenever you are overthinking an answer and a question, then there is a high likelihood that you might end up with the wrong answer. Also, whenever you are, so these are the 7 basic tips for solving the MCQs. If you enjoyed these basic tips, then do let me know, and I will also discuss further 7 advanced tips that can help you to solve your MCQ questions. Thank you for watching. Do give it a thumbs up and share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.